Hello, everyone. Happy to be here with you this evening. Of course, it's Thursday at 6:30 in the evening, Central Standard Time, and I am your host, Robin Fafmi, and we are here to talk about solar energy, all about solar. What is it? How does it work? Is it something that would be good for me in my home? Just any and everything solar. Before we get started, I want to let you know that we may be doing some magic tricks tonight. If my screen pops in and out, I'm just going to come back in. I'm having a little connection issue, but I decided not to let that be a reason that I did not show up tonight. This may be the very night that we have guests who want to leave comments or questions or who want to even call us. And you can call 214-497-7440. I will answer the phone and you will be live on air and we will just continue the conversation. If you were here with us last week, you probably understood the reason that I come to this space every Thursday at 6:30. And the whole purpose for my being here is to start a conversation with homeowners about solar energy. That's all it's about, to start a conversation and to share other information, tidbits, spots of inspiration, and just to share my journey with you, because I didn't get here overnight and I am learning as we go. And I don't think that that's something that should not be shared with you, because I appreciate you all participating with me. And another reason that I want you to know that is because if you are desiring to do anything in your life, if you want to start a business, if you want to, build a new home, or if you want to travel, whatever it is that you want to do, I want you to be encouraged and to know that you can do it. It's all up to you. If you believe it, then, it's been conceived in your heart, you can do it. I have wanted to do something such as this for a really long time, but I didn't know how. I didn't know how to do a podcast, and believe me, I am still learning how to do it. But I'm committed to showing up. And that is the thing. You cannot be afraid. You can't let fear take over you and keep you from doing the things that you want to do in your life. So here we are. And just know that if I pop off screen, I will be right back. And that's just the way it is this night. So, again, we are here to have a conversation about solar energy. I love solar energy. I have finally found something that I enjoy doing so much. I have worked with some people who say you got to find that thing that you love so much that you would do it anyway, whether you got paid or not. Okay. And that's how I feel about solar energy. That's how I feel about working with homeowners in my community and throughout the state of Texas, sharing one home at a time, letting homeowners understand, or helping homeowners to understand how it works, and if solar energy can benefit them where they are now. As I do every week, I give you a little bit of my story, how I got started in solar, and the fact that it really works for me. Solar energy is the way of, it's the new wave, okay? It's what we are moving towards. And you will find that more and more, if you're paying attention, more and more, that more and more homes around you have solar panels on their roofs. And that's what I do. I sell solar panels that produce energy from the sun. So when we talk about solar, or we use the word solar, solar is an indication that the energy is being produced from the sun. Excuse me. The energy is being produced from the sun. So I have panels. As a matter of fact, I have 54 panels on my rooftop, and that sun hits the panel and that creates a direct current. And that current then gets converted into an alternating current. And that alternating current allows us to use the energy in our homes to run our homes. I had a person ask me once before, people think that because you put the panels on your home, that perhaps your electricity is going to be somehow different than it is normally. I had a person ask me, well, what are my lights going to look like when they are powered by solar? When I flip the switch in my home and the light comes on, what is it going to look like if it's powered by solar? I mean, it's an interesting question, and it just proves that that particular person was thinking, because, unless you're thinking or not, um, maybe it doesn't mean anything to you. But she was concerned. When you have solar panels on your home and your energy is being produced by the sun, it doesn't interrupt anything. Everything is exactly the same. When you turn your lights on, there's no different. You get light. It's still electricity. It is just electricity that is powered by the sun, produced by the sun. And so I'm sure that many of you may have a lot of different questions. And if you do, I would love to talk with you about those questions and answer the questions for you and make it easy for you to understand solar. That's my whole objective, is to make solar energy make sense. I say all the time that understanding solar really should not be hard. Solar energy should not be hard to understand. However, there are a lot of moving pieces, and that's what we have to do, is make sure that you understand all of the components. And that's my job pretty much, is to make sure that during our conversations together, you are so well informed about solar energy, how it works, where do I get it, how do I pay for it, how do I understand my bill when it comes out, and things of that nature, that when you make the decision, the conscious decision to purchase a system, then you've made that decision based on good information, and you're ready for a lifestyle change. That's another thing that I help homeowners to understand, that solar is a lifestyle change. When you make that switch, it would behoove you to start paying closer attention to how you're using your energy. The way that we have been raised up until this point, um, you know, you need electricity. Electricity is something that you need. It's not something that you want, it's not a luxury. It is something that you need. It's like food, water, clothes, electricity. You've got to have it. And so now that you are doing it a little bit differently, your energy is being produced a little bit differently. It's real important for you to pay attention to how you are using your electricity. So it's a lifestyle change. Now, if you don't care, you don't care, and that's fine. But for me, I actually enjoy knowing how many kilowatts I'm using and if I am going to be within the range of what my system will produce. Now, let's talk about that for a minute. That's interesting. And it's interesting because when we sit down and we talk about you switching to solar, one of the first things we have to do is collect your electricity bill. I need to see that bill so that I can look at your kilowatt usage. How much electricity are you using every month? And then we need a 12-month usage so that we can do some calculations and then know precisely how to build your system. Every system is custom. So you may have a 17 kilowatt system. Some people may have a 10 kilowatt system. And all of that is based on how much energy you use every month, every year. So we would take all of the usage for 12 months, add it all up, and then divide it by 12. When we divide that by 12, that then gives us your average payment per month. And so now we get a good idea of how you and your family are using electricity. So the goal is that we design a system that will at least match the energy that you're using right now today. Okay. And just to be safe, I like to offset that usage a little bit more, maybe 102, 104, 105%, so that you are very comfortable in knowing that if you get a good solar buyback program, then you can, how do you say, offset your bill to the point where it is zero or very minimal. And that's what you want. That's what going solar is all about. Now, when you do that, when you make the decision to switch, you have most people will finance the panels. Now, the cost of the panels, it's not cheap, and it can be a sticker shock. The price can be shocking, but what you must understand when you see that price, if you never go solar, you're still going to pay that and more over the years, because that system is going to be financed, okay? And in financing that, if your bill is cut down to zero and all you're paying now, you have a fixed payment and you're paying the finance company whatever that monthly bill is. And that's a fixed bill. So if you don't have an electric bill coming from the electricity company that you're using, and you're only paying for your panels, that is known as a true bill swap. That's what happened for me. For the most part, I have had solar panels on my home for 3 years. And in 3 years, I have only paid 4 electric bills. And the reasoning for that is quite understandable because this year, early in the year, January, February, we had severe cold. We had snow, we had ice, and we had rain, which means that we had quite a few cloudy days during the first 3 months of the year. And when it is cloudy outside, the sun, it shines every day. It's still shining, but it's not enough to produce energy. Okay. And if it's not enough to produce energy and you're going 20 days, 30 days with no production, then you are pulling your electricity usage from the grid, just like everybody else. And when that happens, you have to pay for that. Now, if your system is producing, or when your system is producing, you want to be producing more than you're using. And when that happens, that overproduction goes back to the grid, and then you get paid for that, or you get credits for that. And those credits are used to pay for the electricity that you are using. And that's basically how it works. Um, it's really a fantastic option to using electricity. Now, another thing that when I say it's a lifestyle change, and you want to be aware of your kilowatt usage, and you want to make sure that you're doing things in a way that preserves energy for you, because remember, your system is designed to produce a certain amount of energy. Now, if you don't have a system on your roof, a panel system on your roof, then you're pulling all of your energy from the grid. You're always pulling it from the grid, and there's never you're never going to go over. You don't have to worry about going over what your system is going to produce, because when you're pulling it from the grid, no problem. They're just going to charge you. You can manage that too, with or without a system, but just know that on a regular everyday basis, if you don't have a system on your rooftop, you're pulling from the grid and you just pay for it. And so sometimes that bill comes in and it is really, really high. And when you see that, it's somewhat shocking. And you're like, we got to cut down on this electricity bill. Well, how do you do that? Well, you make sure that you're not leaving lights on all day long, or you make sure that if you've got 3 or 4 TVs in your house, that they're not all on at the same time. Or maybe, every household is different. If you are a family with, you've got a mother, you've got a father, you've got 3 or 4 kids, or, it could be any combination of people in that home. And maybe you have some people who work in the day and work in the night, and, people are passing each other. And so your house may be running full steam all the time, day and night. And if that's happening, then your electricity usage is probably going to be pretty high. I have actually worked with some homeowners who are using energy like they are a commercial business. And it's unbelievable. You're using maybe 15 or 20 kilowatts of energy a month. I've had that. I've seen that a few times, not a lot. One person that I talked to, bill was extremely high, $7, $8, $900 all the time. So why is that? So the more I talked to him, I asked more questions. Then I realized he has a swimming pool. So if you have a swimming pool, then that pool has a motor, and that motor usually is constantly running, and that is using electricity. This particular person also had five freezers in his home. Five freezers that he was storing food in. Now, five freezers is a lot, and they weren't small. They were large freezers, and that was using a lot of energy. So, now when you tell me that kind of information, I can kind of understand why you're using energy like you are a commercial business, because you're set up almost like a commercial business. It's not a normal home when you've got five freezers, you've got a swimming pool, and then maybe even you have drafts. You might need windows. There are lots of reasons that you may be either using energy and or losing energy. So sometimes we have to evaluate those types of situations to determine how do we work around it or work with it. And maybe before you go solar, you might want to look at all of the possible ways that energy could be escaping from your home. So if you have, let's just say that you bought a house brand new 15 years ago, 20 years ago, but you have never replaced the windows. Maybe the house has shifted over the years. And if it has, then the doors, when you close them, they are not sealing the way that they used to. And so you've got gaps in your door seals, in your window seals, and energy in the winter and the summer is escaping that way. So maybe before you actually switch to solar, it would be a good idea to check your home and see if it needs to be weatherized. And if it needs to be weatherized, do that first and see if that changes, your electricity bill, how much energy you're using, because it can make a huge difference. Now, believe me, I would love to make the sale. I would love to, sit down with you, give you all the information, and we together, help you make that decision and sign the contract. But I am more interested in education, in educating you as the homeowner to make sure that you understand every possible aspect of what can be done to help you save as much money as you can on your electricity bill. Uh, you know, the auto workers are on strike right now. And for all of you who work for the big three and any others, my heart goes out to you if you're on strike right now, because that's a big deal. It's a big deal. All of the big threes are starting to produce electric vehicles. You're seeing more and more commercials about electric vehicles. And so when you purchase an electric vehicle, where are you planning to charge it at? If you don't have a charging station at your home, then you will have to be aware. And I'm sure you will become aware of where these charging stations are located in proximity to your home to make sure that you never run out of a charge, the same as you never want to run out of gas. However, if you are considering solar and you may be considering an electric vehicle, that is something that can be calculated into your design so that you can charge your system and your car, charge your car battery at home. Okay. And there are options now when you charge that electric vehicle, that battery, and you run it, you know, sometimes energy is stored in that battery, and there is a way to tap into that battery and to feed that energy back into your home. Now, that's a little more complicated than we really want to talk about, but I want you to start thinking about it because people are very trendy. Whatever the next best thing is, or the latest thing, the latest gadget, we want it. Electric vehicles are becoming very popular, and in that they are popular, more and more people are going to have them, but where are you going to charge them? So now you can actually switch to solar to run your home, to power your home and power that electric vehicle. And that way you only have to make one stop. Wherever it is that you're going, when that battery is charged, you can run, some of them you can run 300 miles. But so you should be able to run that electric vehicle all day, just like you do your gas vehicle now. Make it back home, charge it up. So that's something to think about. And that also is a trend to pay attention to let you know that yes, the world is going solar. It's not going to happen overnight, but it is happening. And since we know that it's happening, I think it's just an excellent opportunity to start educating the public about solar energy, how it works. Is it right for me? Is it something that I can consider for my home? Now, every home is not eligible for solar. If you live in a house and you have lots of trees around your house, very mature trees, meaning that they're tall and they're big, and maybe they are covering the front of your house, the back of your house, or whatever, they will create shading. And if you have too much shading, then the sun won't be able to hit your panel. And so that's not optimal. When you have trees like that, but you really want solar, then you're going to have to consider cutting the trees. And there are lots of simple things like that that you may have to do if you truly want to switch to solar. Solar energy, it will work if you know how to work it. And understanding the nuances is where you have to be in order to manage a lifestyle that is being powered by solar energy. I love it. I just love it. I love, love, love my zero electricity bills. If I had one nearby, I would show it to you, but I love getting my bills and they're zero. Like I just got my bill right now for September, and I have a $20 credit, which means that I produced, or not I, but my system produced enough energy to cover my entire bill and still left me with a slight credit that will roll over to the next month. So, when you go solar, you'll get this app on your phone and you'll be able to manage your usage. You will be able to look at that app and see how much energy you are using every day, how much energy or how many kilowatts are you projected to use. I think last month I was projected to use like I want to say it was 1200, but I knew that we would come nowhere close to that. And so if I'm projected to use 12, then the app will also show you how much you've used to date. And you know that your bill closes on the 18th of the month. And let's just say it's the 14th of the month. And you can see that you've only used 600 kilowatts and you've produced maybe 1,000. So you can see the difference in 600 and 1,000 is 400. So you've got 400 kilowatts that have gone back to the grid that you will be credited for. So it's very interesting. If I look at that app and it looks like I'm going over what I'm projected to use and maybe get to the point where I might have to pay, then I still have time to make adjustments. Now, please don't take this wrong. We still live the same way that we lived before we had solar. We run our air. The only difference is that we had to buy a new air conditioning system this year that is much more efficient. So we are able, during the summer, here in Texas, we had triple digits for more than 30 days. It was just really hot this summer. And we were able to run our air conditioner at 76, 77, and 78, and it was cold. It was cold in our home, and we were very comfortable. So we still live the same way. The thing that I do different though is I don't do laundry after 5 o'clock because why? The sun, it's going down. So I'm not producing. And if I'm going to use energy, to do laundry, I want to do that during the daylight hours because during the daylight, I am producing energy. And all of the energy that I use in my home during the daylight hours, I'm producing that. And so I'm using what I'm producing. But when the sun goes down, there's no sun out there. That means no production. If there is no production, then I am pulling from the grid just like everybody else. And that's what I will have to pay for. So if I know that I'm doing laundry, I'm doing 3, 4, 5 loads, why would I want to do that at night when I am not producing? You make those adjustments. So, and that's the whole reason, you go solar. It's why I went solar, so that you become a power plant of your own. You are now producing your own energy, just like any other power plant out there. And those power plants, they sell energy to electricity companies wholesale, and then they sell it to you, sell it to us, the consumer. So if I am a power producing plant, that's how I look at myself. My home is an energy production center, and I want to use the energy that I am producing, that my home is producing. I want to use that. I want to take advantage of that. And I do heavy maintenance things for my home during the daytime. Now, I fully understand that if if you're not home during the day, you're home at night and you have to do those things, not as big of an issue because you're still producing during the day. Okay. And you're pulling from the grid at night. But everything that you have produced during the day is going to the grid. So you still have an opportunity to balance, but just make sure you're paying attention. And it's really fun. It's fun for me to pull up that app and look to see what we're doing, how we're producing, and how we're using that energy. And then the reward at the end of the month when we actually get that bill and it says zero, you know, you just don't even have to worry about it. And I know that every month I have to pay the bill for my solar panels to the finance company, but that is a fixed rate. See, the money that you pay for electricity, you're going to do that anyway, whether you're paying it to the electricity company or whether you're paying that same money for your panels. Either way, you're going to pay. But the interesting thing is that eventually your system will be paid off. And if you're able to pay it off earlier than the financing terms, good for you. That's what you want to do. Now, these solar panels are, you usually will get a 20 to 25-year warranty, sometimes 30, depending on the technology, because the technology is constantly improving. And from that standpoint, you know, panels are working, they're just producing more. And if that's the case, good. But 25, 30 years, you're going to get production out of these panels. Now, granted, over the years, you will have some degradation, meaning that, you know, in year one, they will produce a certain amount. And then by year five, you know, there may be a 2% decrease in the amount of energy that the system is actually producing. But through it all, it will maintain enough to be able to take you 20, 30 years. Now, let's just say, let me get a calculator here real quick and see if I can do some simple math. Let's just say your bill is $120 every month. Okay. If it's $120 every month, you've got 12 months. That's $1,440, $1,440 that you're paying for the year for your electricity. That's how much money you're going to spend in 1 year for electricity if that bill is constant at $120. Now, you take that same 1440 for 12 months, which is 1 year, and you multiply that by 20 years. Let's just say you're going to finance a system. The system then will cost $2,800. No, $28,000, $28,800. That's what it would cost probably to design a system for your home that would produce the same amount of energy that you're using now. And so 28,000, maybe it would go up to 30, because if we were to offset you 102, 3 or 4%, it's going to go up a little bit more. But here's the deal. If you don't do anything, if you don't ever go solar, you're still going to pay $28,000 in electricity cost. Okay. And then next year, though, kilowatt pricing is going to be higher. Like you may be paying 10 cents right now per kilowatt. And we know that the pricing is going up and up and up. So you paid $14,400 for electricity this year, but next year you may be paying 16,000. I don't know. We're just throwing numbers out here, but that's just to let you understand that every year the cost is going up. So if you do nothing, you're always going to be paying more on your electricity bill. And over a 20, 25 year period, it could be astronomical, really. But solar panels will fix that cost, because even though the price per kilowatt will go up next year, the price for my system is not going up. And if that's not going up, it is fixed, then I'm in a safe zone. And you all, we just mentioned that these panels have 20, 25, and sometimes 30-year warranty. They're guaranteed to produce for that long, and they will produce more than likely longer than that. And the reason I say that is this technology is not new. It's been around for a long, long time. If you pay attention to the news or if you read a lot, you will know that they have solar panels in space. And every time they go out there to repair space stations, they will tell you what repairs they're doing. And this summer, I happened to hear that they were doing repairs on a space station, and they were repairing, replacing solar panels. And I'm like, wow. And this particular space station had been out there for years, years, years. And I mean, probably 50 years, because how long have we been going to outer space? So that will give you an idea of the time span. So when you consider solar, just know that it's coming. It is going to be a way of life. And you will notice that solar panel systems are coming to a rooftop near you. Eventually, you're going to see them everywhere. And I am just hoping that I am able to connect with enough homeowners to make sure that you all are getting the best deal possible, because you have a good working understanding of solar energy. So, my name is Robin Fafmi. My phone number is 214-497-7440. Feel free to give me a call if you have questions about solar energy, or you would like an appointment, and we can come over and just do calculations for you and see what it would cost to install a system on your home, because it's worth it. It is very well worth it. Let's see. What else do we want to talk about today? Oh, now here's something. It is not solar energy, but it is light energy. Pain in your body is real, okay? I know it's real. I know plenty of people who are suffering from pain. And if you have ever heard of, or if you know anything about stem cell technology, it's making a breakthrough and changing people's lives. Now, that's another real reason to give me a call to learn about that, because pain is real, but stem cell technology can help to ease that pain. So give me a call at 214-497-7440 and let me share this powerful, powerful information with you. It's amazing. Light, energy, sun. That's what I am very, very, very interested in. Very happy to study and learn and share with you more and more and more about that. I don't know what else to say about it, except I'm excited about it, and it's going to make a difference for a lot of people. So if you have any comments, feel free to write them in the chat section, and we will go ahead and answer those. But I'll give you a few more minutes, and we're gonna close out tonight and get ready for next week. Okay, let's see. Do I see any comments or anything? I do not, but let's see. So you've been listening to me for a while now, and you all understand that I specialize in solar energy education, sales, and project management for homeowners. And the goal is to just make solar energy make sense for homeowners through education and in-home presentations, so that when you choose to switch to solar, you can be really comfortable and confident in that decision. And now you live um, with a sense of freedom. You know, when we talk about what we really want, what is it that you really want? Well, I want to energize my home and not have it cost me an arm and a leg. What's the problem here? What's the real problem? The problem is high electricity bills. Okay. What's the solution? Consider solar energy. Okay. Consider a customized system on your home. And here is a comment we have here from Gloria Johnson. She says that the information is great and she shared the broadcast. I appreciate that. Please, you all, we are live on Facebook and we are also live on YouTube. And you can share, like, subscribe, do all of those things, and help me spread the word. Learning how to maximize natural energy. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Thank you, Miss Johnson, very much. I appreciate you. And that's our purpose. That's why we are here. What I understand is I have to keep showing up. Now, I am learning how to do a podcast. I am learning how to create content and all of that, but that's no reason for me not to show up. The fact that I'm learning, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with you all knowing that I'm a newbie here and that, we're working out the bugs. All right, so good, so be it. We'll keep showing up. But guess what? I am a solar energy subject matter expert. I am that. And I do understand um, the value and the benefit of solar energy. So that I know and I understand. And one of these days, you're going to plug in here to me and you're going to be even more interested than you are now, because, you all are going to help me become better. So I'm just letting you know, I'm learning how to be a podcaster. And it's so interesting that I am here now, because when I was growing up, I really wanted to be a news broadcast person. I went to school for communication, and that's what I wanted to be. That's what I thought I would do. But life, it just took me in a different direction. And I didn't go that route, but here I am right back with an opportunity to do the very thing that I wanted to do. That was my desire years ago when I was coming up in school. um you know I never I was a better than okay student, in school, but I was the person who had to study. I wasn't smart in that way. I had to study, but, I could get it. And I didn't have a particular subject that I liked any more than another one per se. Then when it was time to go to college, you have to pick a major and all those things. Didn't really know what I wanted to do or be, and communications was there. And, although I had thought that I wanted to be a broadcaster, I didn't make the connections, with what it all meant when you went to school and picked a major and how you became that. But look what happened. I am right back here. I am being broadcast all over the world, all over the world, and I am doing the very thing that I wanted to do. It just happens to be that my topic is solar, and I am happy with that because my passion chose me. We spend a lot of time trying to figure it out. Oh, I'll do this today, and tomorrow I'll do something else, and the next day is something else. But when your passion finds you, there's no way around it. So I am laser focused on solar energy, figuring out how to um, be the educator for homeowners across the country. We can do that. And with your help, we can do it relatively quickly. I'm sure of that. So let everybody know that you are listening to Robin Fafme. It's all about solar. I am here every Thursday at 6:30 for an hour, 6:30 to 7:30. Like, subscribe, and share. So if there are no more comments, we are just about at the end of our time. And I am going to go ahead and say thank you very, very much. I appreciate you more than you know. And I wish you nothing but love, peace, success, just a wonderful, wonderful life. And thank you for helping me, because it's because of people like you that people like me can do what I do in the world. And I know that, and I appreciate it so much. So, with that, I am going to bid you good night and do some homework so that when I see you next week, I've got something else to share, more goodies, and we're going to talk maybe a little bit more about light and stem cells. Okay? All righty.